if you listen to DoorDash long enough, there's enough telltale signs that something is not quite right. And the thing that put the nail in the coffin for me is when I actually tried to reach out to offer a brand deal around the time that she was saying that she did not have enough money, that she didn't have a lot of money. And before I go further, I understand that this video may be perceived, and particularly from her followers, as some high dislike for her and trying to stir drama on the internet, and that's not what this is at all. I would say that there are a number of red flags, again, if you listen long enough, but I will not be going into all those in this video today. So I'm going to speak specifically about the thing that put the nail in the coffin for me, which is this brand deal situation. And to give context on myself, so that way everything comes full circle together, I have been professionally in the online advertising space, paid and organic media for quite some time. I've also worked with influencers, and my original exposure to online monetization is when Google bought YouTube. And so this was a time, even through the years, you could not study digital marketing, paid media in school. You couldn't get certifications for it. And then eventually I did start working at major corporations. But in either case, I have worked with influencers helping to build their channels. And then I have worked brand side where I'm selecting influencers and I'm the one determining how much they get paid. So that is my experience when it comes to this piece. And I have always been a huge advocate for diverse and small creators. So even to this day, that is a part of my full time job. And I have a small business that's on the side, which is how this is coming full circle to DoorDash. So, with my small business that's on the side, I knew I wanted to work with micro influencers. I only have so much money that I can offer because this money is coming from my own pocket. This money is coming from my 9 to 5 job in order to advertise online, advertise with influencers to help move my product. So, given my experience in this field, if you are a small brand, you're going to work with smaller influencers if you want to work with them because you cannot afford the influencers that have a bigger following. So I started looking online for different influencers that I could potentially reach out to and offer a deal that is pretty sizable for a smaller channel. So I eventually come across DoorDash, and again, with my experience, I saw right away that she had enough engagement, even with a smaller amount of followers, that would help move units. So um, she automatically got on my list, and at the time, she barely had, I think, 10 to 15,000, maybe below 15,000 subscribers. So seeing the engagement, the amount of comments, I'm like, okay, she's one that I should reach out to. I don't see anything else here that's too alarming. And I happened to notice she was also talking about not having a lot of money. Now, mind you, a lot of brands are not, for where she was at that time, a lot of brands would not even be looking at her channel. But again, I have an eye, I have lots of experience in this, and I knew that with her being a smaller channel, me being able to offer a brand deal was going to, be one of the first potentially for her. So I looked to see if there was an email address in the description. No email address. I looked to see if there was an email address in the about page. Nothing. So I was like, dang it. I am going to have to actually leave a comment. I prefer not to leave a comment. I'd rather reach out directly, but this is the only way I can. So I leave a comment on a video and I saw that she was responding to comments. I'm like, okay, she might actually respond to mine. Um, Nothing. There was no response, and then other comments that came after mine, there were responses. So, I totally understand that there was not a lot of context. It could have been spam for all she knew. I get it. So didn't judge it. I was just like, all right, let me. I'll try again later. So on another video, there was a pin post, and in that pin post, I had left another comment because she was starting to, I don't know, people were starting to donate to her. And so I'm trying to offer, money. Like I'm not just going to give it away, but I can't offer money. That would be, the work included would be very minimal to a degree, right? So I left another comment following up that I had reached out before but didn't get a response back. I would love to be able to offer this deal and help you with whatever it is that you're doing. And so the response that came back was, oh, I have not set up my email address yet. It's probably going to take another couple weeks for me to set up an email address. Then that's when, again, the nail was in the coffin for me, because she had started to talk about not having money, um, even though she was growing her subscriber base, but she was talking about not having money. Um, she was like, I don't want to ask for donations. And then she started accepting donations. And here I am offering a deal. Um, and she was blowing it off. So again, we could play devil's advocate and say why that happened, but when you take into account all of the other red flags that were coming up before that, when this happened, that's when I knew, okay, there is something that is off here. If you take into account not just this situation where she is like a brand is trying to offer to pay and they're talking about they need money and I'm trying to offer it and you don't explore it. And then again, this goes alongside red flags that I heard in other videos. And so at that point, I was like, okay, no, this 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 is a done deal here. So there's so much more. There's a whole lot that could be said, but just know that be careful on who you're listening to and really have discernment about who you're listening to. And I can understand how people are wanting to follow and partake, but the thing is, like, I also come from not having a whole lot to being able to make six figures. And I'm not saying that as a brag. I'm saying that I understand. I get it, because these are the type of people that are more subject to fall prey to these type of facades online. And it's not cool. And that's why there are creators that are starting to speak up about it. So there are, again, so many red flags. Even the things that she has openly admitted to, if you take all these things into account, it's starting to say, hey, something's not right here. And also, I would say people that are making a higher income and or have good discernment probably really are not paying her that much attention. So overall, I do wish the best for her, and I also wish the best for people that are wanting to level up, change their life, leave the 9 to 5, make a ton of money. It's possible, but just have discernment.